Hey guys, this is Matthew here. I'm about to talk about the most recent game I beat, which is Life is Strange True Colors. Yeah, it is the fourth entry into the Life is Strange franchise after the original Before a Storm and Life is Strange 2. And let's talk about it. First question is, obviously, is it good? My answer is yes. It is very good. Uh, let's so before we talk about the game itself, let's talk about the history. My history for the franchise. I love Life is Strange 1. I played that many times. I love Before Storm. Before Storm, I didn't expect to love nearly as much as I did, and that was one of the most pleasant surprises for me, and I still praise that game and praise how good that game was to this day. I love Before Storm. And then Life is Strange 2, I did not like. I did not like at all. I thought it was a massive step back. There were good parts about Life is Strange 2. I loved the multiple endings. Uh, Off the top of my head, that's about where the good parts stop. Uh, I, I, I didn't like he didn't control a powered person. I thought it was badly written. I thought there were just so many dumb parts in the stories. Uh, I don't like cult storylines. I know that I hated that. I thought there were just parts where the characters made so many dumb decisions, and it just frustrated me so much. And then you didn't stay the game. You're constantly traveling, so you didn't like get to know characters other than your brother. And Life is Strange 2 was just a massive disappointment to me. And when I was really looking forward to it, and I wanted to love that game. But Life is Strange True Colors, it is a massive return to form for the franchise. It gives me a lot of hope for the franchise. I thought it was great. I really did. And I think it's one of the most under-discussed games of last year. It just kind of came. I remember the reviews were good, and then it went. I never really heard anyone like linger on it, talk about it, and let me tell you, it deserves it. It deserves it. I know choice games, or not choice. I know adventure games like this are kind of a thing of a bygone era now, from like the early 2010s, because Telltale, they really like overdone it and they made it not as special. I feel like, because it was like The Walking Dead was special. The Walking Dead season 2 was special. The original Life is Strange was really special. And then Telltale just did so many games, and then they were just, because there were so many games, and because they were released episodically, people got sick of waiting, and people's interest for that genre just kind of faded. Which is what, and then like Hitman did episodic. I mean, people didn't like that at all. Understandably, I didn't either. And then, you know, so the adventure genre isn't as big as it was back then. I don't know how successful this game even was sales wise. I mean, hopefully it was successful. But I don't, because no one talked about it. I don't know how successful it was, and it was a $60 game too. So yeah, but so let's talk about it. This game has all 5 episodes from the box, or in the box. Ready to play from day one. So there was no waiting. Yeah, and yeah, let's talk about the characters. Alex Chen is the main character of this game. I think she's probably she's a really good main character. I was gonna say the best since Max and Chloe, but you know, the only other one was the Life is Strange 2 protagonist, and obviously my feelings about that have been shared. But Alex Chen is a really strong protagonist. I think the supporting cast in this game is really strong. You have Ryan, Gabe, Steph, Jed. You have all these characters that you get to know over these course of 5 episodes: Charlotte, Ducky, and they're all really good. I don't know if I should talk about spoilers. We'll save the spoilers because I'll talk about some spoilers later. But so all the characters in this game are really good, and I love that you get to know them over the course of 5 episodes. You know, I think that was a really strong part of Life is Strange 1, getting to know like Jefferson, getting to know Chloe, and just being in the school for all those 5 episodes. I don't know why I keep saying 3. I think it was really good, and I'm glad they returned to this, because you get to see how the town evolves, how the characters evolve from chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you get to really feel like you're a part of it. Underrated thing about this game is I love reading text. I love when games do this, when they let you read text messages that you weren't a part of, and they're just there to like build the world. Like Alex said, so many just like text conversations that I just went through and read that aren't really mentioned in the game, that they're just there to build her character, and I love that. I know it's better than like being like, audio logs. Like they're just there. The game doesn't tell you to look at them. They're not like codex entries where they just overload you. They're just cool things to build Alex's character. So Alex's power is she can sense people's emotions, and she can help them deal with their emotions. So, and then she'll kind of like take it on. So like someone's really mad, she will just get furious because she takes on that emotion. If someone's sad, she'll take that on. I mean, this game was surprisingly deep. Like there's a point in this game where it talks about, or in the text messages where it talks about Alex. She was at a foster home because her parents aren't around, and one of her foster home members was severely depressed, and this transferred on to Alex. And I mean, that's just it's such an interesting concept, I feel like, because that transferred, and then the foster care person ended up committing suicide, apparently. You were in the text messages, and it's just such an I love the power in this game. So the first one's time traveling, the second one is like telekinesis, and then this one is reading emotions. And I think they did a great job with this. So it's the choice. Okay, let's move on to the choices in this game. They were good. I do think this is kind of a shortfall of the game because it doesn't have as many endings as Life is Strange 2. That is one thing I loved about the game. How many endings you had. Your choices, they mattered in that game. In the final chapter, I mean, no matter what you do, the characters still make stupid decisions in that game. But the choices in this game, they all culminate in one event. And then, you know, you kind of get to decide the ending. But outside of that one event, they don't really matter. You know, it just, because all your choices, they lead to that one event. But then for the other things outside of the ending, you know, they're not really felt in the world and stuff. Which, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think that was a slight disappointment to me. So, but the story's really interesting. Let's start with the graphics. This is easily the best looking Life is Strange game. And that's not that high of a bar, but I mean, it just easily is. So, good art style. And, yeah, that's what I'm missing. I'm gonna get into spoilers now. I'm gonna talk about the ending. The ending is... We're gonna talk about the scene with Jed. Jed betrays you. The mining company, he has a lot of regret. I like the regret part of that, but I don't like the whole scene because Alex gets shot, and then it can lead to everyone believing you or not believing you. Why did we not show them the gunshot wound? That seems like such an obvious thing to do. It was such an oversight. but it's your choices and how you cultivated the relationships with the characters that leads to them believing you, which I like. I like the idea of that. I think the execution was bad because she can lift up her shirt, show the gunshot wound, and then like she didn't shoot herself, guys. She didn't trash herself. Like I don't like that. Steph and Ryan, I love Steph and Ryan. I personally got with Steph. Uh, I think Ryan's a really tragic character. If you leave with Steph, I mean, he's just kind of sitting there. He's all alone. He's lost his father, his best friend, his two other best friends. I mean, if you leave, that's a really tragic ending for him. I think Jed. I like Jed. I seen the twist coming. I seen it coming. I mean, nobody with that mustache ever turns out to be a good guy. I mean, come on. And like, I just felt like he was gonna turn bad, especially because he worked for the mining company before. I seen the twist coming. But even if it doesn't matter if I seen it coming because it's all good. And I loved Chapter 3 of the game. I think it's Chapter 3 where it turns into a JRPG and it has the music, and that was one of the most fun, unique things. They didn't have to go through all this effort. They could have made about talking to people during this, and they could have been, and it was just such a surprisingly deep thing to have a JRPG right in the middle of a Life is Strange game. And I mean, it's not that depth, but like there's like certain orders, you can get tokens, healing stuff, and I love that. Like, it's such a creative thing, and I really liked it. And the game was good. It was good. There are some flaws, like I pointed out, but overall, it was one of the best games of last year. That's really gone under noticed, and I think more people should talk about it. I loved this game, and yeah, I'd say check it out, especially now. I know it went on so fast. If you can get it for a sale, get this game. Play this game. The story's good. You owe it to yourself to experience it. There's some really emotional moments, and I'm like, wow, this is good. And there was some emotional depth behind the characters. I thought the game was good. So, excuse me, check it out. Thank you.